Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Astronaut, where mysteries unfold gently and the universe reveals its secrets through the quiet. On a quiet morning in July 2025, astronomers at the Atlas Survey Telescope in Chile noticed something extraordinary drifting through the darkness beyond Jupiter. A faint smudge of light moving in a way that shouldn't have been possible. This wasn't just another asteroid tumbling through our solar system. This was something far more remarkable. A visitor from the vast emptiness between the stars, carrying with it secrets from worlds we'll never see. They called it 3I Atlas, the third known interstellar object ever detected, and from the moment it appeared, it began challenging everything we thought we knew about cosmic wanderers. You see, most comets behave predictably. They sleep in the cold outer reaches of our solar system until the sun's warmth awakens them, causing them to bloom with brilliant tails as they approach. But 3I Atlas was different. It was already glowing, already active, when it was spotted near Jupiter's orbit. 5 astronomical units from the Sun, where most comets remain dormant. This early awakening suggested something unusual about its composition, something that set it apart from every other comet we'd ever observed. As the weeks passed and telescopes around the world turned their attention to this mysterious visitor, the picture that emerged was both beautiful and puzzling. 3I Atlas wasn't just any interstellar wanderer. It was ancient, unimaginably old, with an estimated age of 4.6 billion years, making it older than our entire solar system. Think about that for a moment. This cosmic traveler had been drifting through the galaxy since before Earth existed, before the sun ignited, before any of the planets we call home had even begun to form. It had witnessed the birth and death of countless stars, the formation of nebulae, the slow dance of galactic evolution, and now, after eons of solitary journey through the void, it had found its way to us. The Hubble Space Telescope revealed that 3I Atlas measured somewhere between 300 meters and 5.6 kilometers across, though most estimates suggested it was likely less than a kilometer in diameter, which might seem small. But consider this. It was massive for an interstellar object weighing an estimated 33 billion tons, making it 3 to 5 orders of magnitude more massive than the other known interstellar visitors, Oumuamua and Borisov. This wasn't just unusual, it was an anomaly that demanded explanation. How does something so massive escape from another star system and survive the journey through interstellar space for billions of years? But the strangeness didn't end with its size. The James Webb Space Telescope peered deeper into 3I Atlas, revealing a composition that told a story of origins unlike anything in our solar system. It was unusually rich in carbon dioxide, with small amounts of water, ice carbon monoxide, and carbonyl sulfide. This chemical signature suggested it had formed in a stellar system very different from our own. Perhaps around a star rich in carbon dioxide, or subjected to radiation processes that had boiled away other materials, leaving behind this carbon-rich remnant. The Very Large Telescope added another layer to the mystery, detecting cyanide gas and atomic nickel vapor streaming from the comet's surface as it heated up in our sun's embrace. What made 3I Atlas even more intriguing was its trajectory and origin story. When astronomers traced its path backward through space, they found it had approached from the direction of Sagittarius, the constellation that points toward the center of our galaxy. The Milky Way's dense, crowded heart, where billions of ancient stars clustered together. This suggested 3I Atlas had originated not from the familiar thin disk of our galaxy, where young stars like our sun reside, but from the thick disk, a region populated by older stars with different chemical compositions. It was a messenger from a more ancient era of our galaxy, carrying within its icy nucleus the chemical fingerprints of stellar neighborhoods we can barely imagine. The journey of 3I Atlas through our solar system became a race against time. Astronomers had only a brief window to study this ancient visitor before it completed its swing around the sun and headed back into the depths of interstellar space, never to return. As it traveled inward, toward its closest approach to the Sun in late October 2025. At a distance of 1.36 astronomical units, roughly between the orbits of Earth and Mars, telescopes around the world worked tirelessly to unlock its secrets. Every observation, every spectrum, every photograph was precious, because this might be our only chance to study such an ancient artifact from another star system. But 3. Atlas raised as many questions as it answered. If interstellar objects like this one have been wandering through our galaxy for billions of years, drifting from star to star, carrying the chemical signatures of distant worlds, how many others might be out there passing through our solar system? Undetected, the discovery of 3I Atlas suggested that interstellar visitors might be far more common than we'd previously imagined. Silent witnesses to the galaxy's long history, occasionally gracing us with their presence before vanishing back into the cosmic dark. And this brings us to a far more unsettling possibility. If ancient objects from other star systems can find their way to us, what else might be watching from the shadows of our solar system? What if some of these visitors aren't just random chunks of ice and rock drifting aimlessly through space? What if something or someone has been deliberately observing us, studying us, learning about our small blue world as we go about our daily lives, blissfully unaware of the cosmic audience that may surround us? This question becomes even more intriguing when we consider another mystery that has captivated astronomers for nearly a decade. The possibility that a massive hidden planet lurks in the outer reaches of our solar system. A world so distant and dark that it has remained invisible to our most powerful telescopes, yet may be exerting a gravitational influence on the strange dance of objects in the far outer solar system. They call it Planet 9, though some prefer the more mysterious designation Planet X, and if it exists, it would be unlike any world we know in our solar system. The story of Planet 9 begins with a puzzle in the Kuiper Belt, that vast region of icy objects beyond Neptune, where Pluto resides among countless smaller worlds. In 2014, astronomers noticed something odd about the orbits of several Kuiper Belt objects. They weren't randomly distributed, as you might expect. Instead, they seemed to cluster together, following similar highly elongated paths that kept them grouped in one region of the sky, tilted well out of the typical plane where most solar system objects orbit. It was as if some invisible shepherd was herding these distant worlds, keeping them aligned in ways that defied explanation. Michael Brown and Konstantin Batygin, two astronomers at Caltech, spent months running computer simulations, trying to understand this orbital clustering. They tested various scenarios, asteroid collisions, passing stars, galactic tides, but nothing could explain the precise alignment they observed except for one possibility: a massive planet lurking in the outer darkness, a world with 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth, orbiting the Sun, at a distance of 300 to 700 astronomical units where it would be almost impossible to detect, but powerful enough to gravitationally sculpt the orbits of distant objects. This hypothetical Planet 9, if it exists, would be a strange and lonely world, taking between 10,000 and 20,000 years to complete a single orbit around the Sun. For most of its journey, it would be so far from the Sun that our star would appear as little more than a bright point of light in a sky darker than anything we can imagine on Earth. The planet would receive almost no solar warmth, making it a frozen wasteland where temperatures hover near absolute zero. Yet despite these harsh conditions, it would still be a world. Perhaps with its own moons, its own weather patterns, its own alien landscapes shaped by billions of years of isolation in the cosmic deep. But here's where the mystery deepens. Planet 9's orbit, according to the computer models, would be anti-aligned with the cluster of Kuiper Belt objects it influences, meaning its closest approach to the Sun would be roughly opposite to theirs. This creates a gravitational resonance, a cosmic dance where Planet 9 acts like an invisible conductor, orchestrating the movements of smaller worlds across vast distances of space. It's a delicate balance that could only be maintained by a planetary mass object hidden in the darkness beyond our current ability to observe. The evidence for Planet 9 has grown stronger over the years as astronomers have discovered more objects with strange orbits that seem to point toward the existence of this hidden world. In 2024, Brown and Battigan published new research showing that Planet Nine's gravitational influence would over millions of years increase the eccentricity of certain objects until their orbits crossed Neptune's path, sending them careening through the inner solar system. They found that the ratio of such Neptune-crossing objects matched almost perfectly with what they observed in reality, providing what they called the strongest statistical evidence, yet that Planet 9 is really out there. Yet Planet 9 remains stubbornly hidden. Despite years of searching by some of the world's most powerful telescopes, the Subaru telescope in Hawaii has been systematically scanning the predicted regions of sky where the planet might lurk citizen scientists through NASA's backyard worlds. Planet 9 Project have examined thousands of images from infrared sky surveys looking for the faint moving dot that would betray the planet's presence. But so far, the darkness has kept its secrets. The search for Planet 9 has become one of astronomy's greatest treasure hunts, a quest that has consumed careers and pushed the boundaries of observational technology. The challenge isn't just that this hypothetical world is incredibly distant. It's that distance makes it extraordinarily faint. If Planet 9 exists at 600 astronomical units from the Sun, it would reflect only a tiny fraction of sunlight, making it roughly 10 million times dimmer than the faintest stars visible to the naked eye. Finding it would be like searching for a single black grain of sand scattered somewhere across a football field in complete darkness. But the hunt is about to get a powerful new ally. High in the Chilean Andes, the Vera Rubin Observatory is preparing to open its mechanical eye to the cosmos equipped with the world's largest digital camera, a 3.2 gigapixel marvel that weighs nearly 7,000 pounds when this observatory begins its operations. Sometime in the coming years, it will photograph the entire southern sky night after night, creating a time-lapse movie of the universe that captures everything that moves, changes, or appears in the darkness. If Planet 9 is out there hiding in the southern celestial hemisphere, Rubin will almost certainly find it, or at the very least, provide the strongest evidence yet for its existence. The implications of discovering Planet 9 would extend far beyond simply adding another world to our solar system's census. This hidden giant would reshape our understanding of how planetary systems form and evolve. Most surveys of planets around other stars have found that super-Earths, worlds larger than Earth but smaller than Neptune, are the most common type of planet in the galaxy, yet our solar system appears to lack any such world. Planet 9, if confirmed, would fill that gap, suggesting that we do indeed have a super-Earth. It's just hiding in the cold outer darkness, where we've never thought to look. Some theories suggest Planet 9 might be the core of a failed gas giant, a world that began forming in the inner solar system alongside Jupiter and Saturn, but was ejected outward by gravitational interactions during the chaotic early days of planetary formation. Others propose it could be a captured rogue planet, a world that formed around another star but was cast adrift into interstellar space only to be snared by our sun's gravity as it wandered through the galaxy. Still others wonder if Planet 9 might be something even more exotic, a primordial black hole formed in the early universe and captured by our solar system, though this idea remains highly speculative. Yet, as the search for Planet 9 continues, recent discoveries have begun to complicate the picture. In 2023, astronomers discovered another distant object designated 2023 KQ-14, nicknamed Ammonite, whose orbit doesn't align with the other clustered Kuiper Belt objects that originally suggested Planet 9's existence. This new finding has raised questions about whether the orbital clustering is as significant as initially believed. Some researchers now wonder if the unusual orbits might be explained by a planet that once existed, but was later ejected from the solar system, leaving behind only the gravitational echoes of its former presence. The debate over Planet 9's existence reflects a deeper truth about our solar system. We are still discovering its architecture, still mapping its hidden corners and distant realms. The outer solar system remains largely unexplored territory, where surprises await every new survey. Every sensitive observation has the potential to reveal worlds we never knew existed, or to confirm the presence of the massive hidden planet that may have been shaping our cosmic neighborhood for billions of years. But Planet 9, if it exists, would not be the only mysterious presence in our solar system's outer reaches, as our telescopes have grown more sensitive and our surveys more comprehensive. We've begun to detect objects that be wandering through the challenge, our understanding of what shows space around our sun. The discovery of Oumuamua in 2017 marked a watershed moment. The first confirmed interstellar visitor, a cigar-shaped object tumbling through space on a hyperbolic trajectory that clearly originated from another star system. Its strange acceleration, as it departed our solar system, sparked debates that continue to this day. Was it simply outgassing like a comet? Or was something else pushing it along its path? Then came Borisov, in 2019, a more conventional interstellar comet that behaved much as we expected, displaying a familiar tail and coma as it approached the Sun. Yet even Borisov raised questions about the population of interstellar objects drifting through our galaxy. How many such visitors pass through our solar system undetected each year, each decade? What stories do they carry from distant stellar neighborhoods? And what can they tell us about the formation and evolution of planetary systems throughout the cosmos? Now, with 3i Atlas, we have our third confirmed interstellar visitor, and perhaps the most intriguing yet. Its massive size, its ancient age, and its unusual composition paint a picture of a galaxy filled with wandering worlds, fragments of planetary systems scattered across vast distances by gravitational interactions, stellar evolution, and the slow migration of star clusters through space. These interstellar travelers are time capsules, carrying within their structure the chemical fingerprints of stars that may no longer exist, preserving evidence of planetary formation processes that occurred billions of years ago in regions of the galaxy we may never visit. The growing catalogue of interstellar objects has profound implications for our understanding of planetary system dynamics. Computer simulations suggest that gravitational interactions between planets, especially during the chaotic early phases of system formation, can eject significant amounts of material into interstellar space. This means that every star system likely contributes to a vast population of wandering objects drifting through the galaxy. Rocky fragments, icy comets fail cast adrift from their parent planets, and perhaps even complete world stars. Some of these ejected objects may be larger than we ever imagined, rogue planets the size of Earth, or even Jupiter, wandering through interstellar space in complete darkness. These orphaned worlds would be nearly impossible to detect unless they passed very close to our solar system, or unless we develop new technologies capable of spotting their faint infrared glow against the cosmic background. The Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, currently under development, may have the sensitivity to detect nearby rogue planets through gravitational microlensing, a technique that measures how their gravity bends the light of background stars. The possibility that massive rogue planets might occasionally pass through our solar system raises intriguing questions about their potential influence on the orbits of our own worlds. A Jupiter-sized object passing through the outer solar system could gravitationally perturb the orbits of planets, comets, and asteroids, leaving traces of its passage that might persist for millions of years. Some researchers have even speculated whether past encounters with rogue planets might explain certain puzzles in our solar system's architecture. The unusual tilts of planetary orbits, the scattered populations of small bodies in the outer solar system, or the apparent depletion of objects in certain regions of space. But rogue planets and interstellar comets are not the only mysterious objects that may be present in our cosmic neighborhood. The growing sophistication of our observational capabilities has revealed a universe far stranger and more dynamic than previous generations could have imagined. Space is not empty but filled with dark matter. Invisible particles that outweigh all visible matter by a factor of 5 to 1. This dark matter forms vast halos around galaxies, and may occasionally clump into dense structures that could influence the orbits of objects in our solar system in subtle but detectable ways. Some theoretical physicists have proposed that dark matter might form compact objects, dark matter planets, or even dark matter asteroids that could pass through our solar system like ghosts, interacting gravitationally but otherwise invisible to our instruments. These hypothetical objects would represent an entirely new category of celestial body, one that exists alongside the familiar matter of stars and planets, but remains hidden from direct observation, except through its gravitational effects. The search for such exotic objects pushes the boundaries of observational astronomy, requiring new techniques and unprecedented sensitivity. Future space missions may carry detectors capable of measuring minute gravitational anomalies that could betray the presence of dark matter structures passing near Earth, or instruments sensitive enough to detect the tiny gravitational waves generated by compact dark matter objects moving through the solar system. These searches represent the cutting edge of both theoretical physics and practical astronomy, bridging the gap between laboratory particle physics and cosmic observation. Yet even as we develop new technologies to probe the hidden structures of our solar system, we must also grapple with the possibility that some of what we observe may not be natural at all. The universe is vast and old, and if life has emerged elsewhere in the galaxy, it may have had billions of years to develop technologies and capabilities far beyond our current understanding. The concept of Bracewell probes, autonomous spacecraft designed to travel between star systems and observe distant civilizations, has intrigued scientists for decades. Such probes would be efficient, unobtrusive, and almost impossible to detect, especially if designed by a civilization millions of years more advanced than our own. If even a handful of galactic civilizations adopted strategies of exploration and observation through such probes, our galaxy could be filled with artificial eyes, watching, studying, and learning about emerging worlds like Earth. These hypothetical observers would face no need to announce their presence. Indeed, they might prefer to study us from a distance, like wildlife biologists observing animals in their natural habitat, without disturbing the delicate ecosystems they wish to understand. The implications of such surveillance are both thrilling and unsettling. On one hand, the presence of advanced observers might suggest that we are not alone in the universe, that intelligence and consciousness are not rare cosmic accidents, but perhaps inevitable outcomes of planetary evolution. On the other hand, the silence of these hypothetical watchers, their apparent choice to remain hidden, raises questions about their intentions, their ethics, and their long-term plans for worlds like ours. The technology required for such covert observation would be beyond our current comprehension. Imagine spacecraft hidden in the gravitational shadows of asteroids, or positioned at Lagrange points where our telescopes rarely look. Their sensors could be disguised as natural phenomena, their communications encrypted in ways that appear to us as nothing more than cosmic background radiation. A civilization with millions of years of technological development would find concealing their presence from a species like ours almost trivially easy. Their craft could be smaller than dust particles, yet equipped with quantum sensors capable of monitoring every radio transmission, every television broadcast, every digital signal we beam into space. Or perhaps they operate on scales we cannot fathom, vast structures positioned in the outer reaches of our solar system, beyond the orbit of Pluto, where the darkness provides perfect camouflage. These installations could be monitoring Earth through gravitational wave detectors that sense the vibrations of our planet, through space or quantum entanglement arrays that instantaneously relay information across galactic distances without leaving any trace we could detect. Their observation posts might be camouflaged as Kuiper belt objects, indistinguishable from the thousands of icy bodies that populate those distant regions. The recent surge in unidentified aerial phenomena reports adds another layer to this cosmic mystery, in 2025 alone. Over 3,000 sightings were reported worldwide, a dramatic increase from previous years, many backed by video evidence and radar data that military and civilian authorities struggle to explain. The Pentagon's disclosure of 22 military encounters with mysterious aerial objects over the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans has shifted the conversation from fringe speculation to serious scientific inquiry. These objects display flight characteristics that challenge our understanding of physics, moving at impossible speeds, making instantaneous direction changes, and showing no visible means of propulsion. What makes these sightings particularly intriguing is their apparent focus on sensitive military installations, nuclear facilities, and areas of high technological activity, as if something is specifically interested in our most advanced capabilities. Could these phenomena be related to the hypothetical observers watching from the outer solar system? Are we seeing the local manifestations of a much larger surveillance network that extends throughout our cosmic neighborhood? The patterns suggest intelligence, purpose, and technology far beyond our current capabilities. Some researchers propose that these aerial phenomena might represent a form of probe technology sent from hidden bases in our outer solar system. Small, highly maneuverable craft dispatched to gather close-up intelligence about human civilization, while their motherships remain safely concealed in the darkness beyond Neptune. Such probes would need to be remarkably advanced, capable of operating in Earth's atmosphere without detection except when they choose to reveal themselves or when our sensors catch fleeting glimpses of their presence. The timing of these increased sightings coincides intriguingly with humanity's rapid technological advancement. Our development of nuclear weapons, space exploration capabilities, and digital communications networks. If an advanced civilization were monitoring our progress, these milestones might represent critical transition points worthy of closer observation. We are approaching a technological threshold that could make us either a spacefaring species capable of venturing beyond our solar system, or a self-destructive civilization that poses no long-term concern to galactic observers. Consider the perspective of beings who have watched Earth for millions of years. They would have witnessed the rise and fall of countless species, the slow dance of evolution and extinction, the gradual warming and cooling of our planet's climate. But in the last century, they would have observed something unprecedented: the sudden emergence of a technological species capable of splitting atoms, launching objects into space, and filling the electromagnetic spectrum with artificial signals. This rapid transformation might have triggered increased surveillance as our hypothetical watchers try to determine whether humanity represents a promising new addition to galactic civilization or a potential threat that must be monitored and possibly contained. The tools available to such advanced observers would make their surveillance nearly undetectable. They might use swarms of microscopic probes smaller than bacteria, capable of infiltrating our atmosphere and even our technology. Without leaving any trace, these nanoscale observers could monitor everything from individual conversations to global communication networks, transmitting their findings back to hidden command centers through quantum channels that operate outside our understanding of physics. Alternatively, they might employ gravitational lensing techniques, using massive objects in our solar system as natural telescopes to observe Earth with resolution. Fine enough to track individual humans, such observations would be completely passive, leaving no signature we could detect, while providing complete intelligence about our activities, our technology, and our potential for future development. The observers would know more about us than we know about ourselves, mapping our capabilities, our weaknesses, and our likely evolutionary paths. The psychological implications of such comprehensive surveillance are staggering. To consider that our entire civilization might exist under the watchful gaze of intelligences. We cannot perceive challenges our fundamental assumptions about privacy, autonomy, and our place in the cosmic order. Are we truly free to develop as a species, or are we unknowingly following paths that have been subtly influenced by our hidden observers? Every major decision in human history, every technological breakthrough, Every social transformation might have been anticipated, studied, and perhaps even guided by beings whose motivations remain completely opaque to us. Yet the silence of these hypothetical watchers is perhaps the most puzzling aspect of all. If advanced civilizations possess the technology to observe us so thoroughly, why do they choose to remain hidden? The answer might lie in a form of cosmic ethics, a prime directive that prohibits interference with developing civilizations until they reach certain technological or social milestones, just as wildlife researchers minimize their impact on the animals they study. Galactic observers might follow strict protocols designed to preserve the natural development of emerging species. This ethical framework would explain both the surveillance and the secrecy. Our observers might be gathering data not for conquest or exploitation, but for scientific understanding, building a comprehensive database of how intelligence emerges and evolves across the galaxy. Each world, each species, each technological pathway would represent a valuable data point in understanding the cosmic significance of consciousness and civilization. Earth would be just one entry in a vast catalogue of worlds under observation, each developing according to its own trajectory while contributing to a larger understanding of life in the universe. But ethics alone might not explain the observer's restraint. There could be practical considerations as well. Direct contact with a primitive civilization like ours might trigger unpredictable responses: panic, religious upheaval, social collapse, or aggressive military reactions. Any of these outcomes could disrupt the natural development process that the observers are trying to study. Maintaining their hidden presence allows them to gather data while avoiding the contamination effects that would inevitably result from open contact. The timeline of such observation might stretch across geological ages, making human civilization appear as just a brief moment in a much longer study. Our hypothetical watchers might have been present when life first emerged in Earth's oceans, when complex multicellular organisms appeared, when consciousness first flickered in early mammalian brains. They would have witnessed the extinction of the dinosaurs, the rise of mammals, and the gradual emergence of tool. Using primates, human civilization with all its achievements and dramas would represent just the latest chapter in a story they have been following for millions of years. From this perspective, our current moment in history might be particularly significant. We stand at the threshold of becoming a spacefaring species capable of establishing permanent settlements beyond Earth. Within the next few decades, humans may walk on Mars, establish bases on the Moon, and launch robotic probes to nearby star systems. These achievements would mark our transition from a planetary species to a cosmic one, a transformation that our hidden observers have been anticipating for millions of years. The implications extend beyond simple surveillance. If advanced civilizations are indeed watching, they might be preparing for eventual contact, but on their terms. And according to their timeline, first contact might not occur until humanity demonstrates certain capabilities or reaches specific developmental milestones. We might need to prove our technological maturity, our social stability, and our readiness to join a larger galactic community before the watchers reveal themselves. Alternatively, the observers might be waiting for us to discover them through our own efforts as our telescopes become more powerful and our surveys more comprehensive. We may eventually detect the artificial signatures of their hidden installations or catch glimpses of their observation networks. This scenario would allow for contact that appears to result from human discovery rather than alien revelation, preserving some measure of our autonomy and dignity in the process. The search for Planet 9 takes on new significance in this context. If a massive hidden world does lurk in our outer solar system, it would provide the perfect location for long-term observation posts. Its distant orbit would keep any installations safely beyond the reach of human exploration, while its gravitational influence could be used to power advanced technologies or maintain stable orbits for observation platforms. The planet itself might be entirely artificial, a constructed world designed specifically for the purpose of monitoring Earth and other inner planets. Such a scenario would explain some of the puzzling aspects of the Planet 9 hypothesis. Why has such a massive world remained hidden for so long? Why do the gravitational effects seem so precisely tuned to influence specific populations of small bodies? And why have our searches failed to find direct evidence of the planet itself? Perhaps what we are detecting is not a natural world, but an artificial construct designed by advanced intelligences to remain just beyond the threshold of our detection capabilities. The dance between observer and observed continues as our technology advances and our understanding deepens. We edge ever closer to answers that may fundamentally transform our view of the universe and our place within it. Whether the watchers are natural phenomena like Planet 9 and interstellar visitors or artificial constructs deployed by advanced civilizations, the evidence suggests that Earth is not the isolated world we once imagined, but part of a much larger cosmic community, where intelligence observation and perhaps guidance operate on scales we are only beginning to comprehend. The question that haunts us now is not whether we are alone, but whether we have ever truly been alone at all. As we drift deeper into sleep tonight, consider the possibility that every human achievement, every moment of wonder, every quiet contemplation like this one has been witnessed by eyes we cannot see, recorded by intelligences we cannot fathom, studied by minds that have watched civilizations rise and fall across the galaxy like waves upon a cosmic shore. The technology required for such long-term observation would operate on principles that stretch the boundaries of our imagination. Consider the concept of self-replicating probes, mechanical seeds scattered throughout the galaxy by civilizations that achieved spaceflight millions of years before Earth even formed. These von Neumann machines would spread from star to star, establishing observation posts around promising worlds, then lying dormant for eons until signs of emerging intelligence trigger their activation. Our solar system could host dozens of such ancient sentinels, their origins lost to time, their purposes encoded in programming languages that evolved in stellar neighborhoods we can barely detect. Such probes would not need to be large or conspicuous. A civilization capable of interstellar travel would likely master nanotechnology to a degree that makes our current understanding look primitive. Picture observation systems no larger than dust grains, yet containing computational power that dwarfs our most advanced supercomputers. These microscopic watchers could be present in Earth's atmosphere right now, drifting on high-altitude winds, embedded in meteorites, or floating in the space between Earth and Moon. They would be invisible to our instruments, undetectable by our sensors, yet capable of monitoring every electromagnetic signal we produce, every chemical signature in our atmosphere, every sign of technological progress. The data gathered by such systems would paint a comprehensive picture of human civilization that we ourselves do not possess. Our observers would understand patterns in human behavior that span generations, tracking the slow evolution of our technology, our social structures, our impact on the planetary environment. They would have watched the first sparks of agriculture 10,000 years ago, the rise of cities, the development of writing, the industrial revolution that filled our skies with smoke, and the digital revolution that filled our airwaves with signals. From their perspective, human history would appear as a rapid acceleration, a sudden burst of activity in what had previously been a quiet world dominated by non-technological life. This acceleration might explain the apparent increase in mysterious aerial phenomena over recent decades. If our hypothetical observers operate according to protocols that minimize interference, they might normally maintain their distance, gathering data through passive sensors and long-range observation. But as humanity approaches critical technological thresholds, closer monitoring might become necessary. The development of nuclear weapons, space exploration capabilities, and artificial intelligence could represent decision points that require more detailed assessment. Are we becoming a species ready for contact? Or are we developing capabilities that pose risks to ourselves and others? The timing of increased sightings around military installations and nuclear facilities suggests a particular interest in our most advanced and potentially dangerous technologies. This pattern makes sense from the perspective of galactic observers trying to assess whether humanity represents a stable, peaceful addition to cosmic civilization or a chaotic species that might pose threats beyond Earth. Nuclear weapons represent our first capability for planetary self-destruction, while space technology represents our first steps toward becoming an interplanetary species. Both developments would be of intense interest to watchers trying to predict our future trajectory. But the observer's interest might extend beyond simple risk assessment. Advanced civilizations would likely possess a deep understanding of planetary evolution and the conditions that foster the emergence of intelligence. Earth represents a remarkable case study, a world where life not only emerged but survived multiple mass extinctions to eventually produce technological consciousness. The specific sequence of events that led to human civilization, from the impact that created our unusually large moon to the particular atmospheric composition that allowed complex chemistry to flourish, might be rare enough in the galaxy to warrant detailed study. Our observers would be documenting not just human development, but the entire biosphere that supported it. They would have witnessed the emergence of photosynthesis, the great oxygenation event that transformed Earth's atmosphere, the evolution of complex cells, the Cambrian explosion of biodiversity, and the intricate web of relationships between species that created the stable ecosystem within which human consciousness could emerge. This biological context would be as important to their research as the technological achievements of humanity itself. The implications of such comprehensive observation extend into realms that challenge our fundamental assumptions about free will and self-determination. If advanced beings have been monitoring and perhaps subtly influencing human development for millennia, can we truly claim credit for our achievements? The great leaps in human understanding, the sudden bursts of creativity that produced art, science, and philosophy, the inspirations that led to breakthrough technologies, might all have been gently nudged by influences we never recognized. Consider the possibility that certain individuals throughout history, those whose insights seem to transcend their time and circumstances, might have been unconsciously influenced by our hidden observers. The mathematical insights of Newton and Einstein, the artistic visions of Leonardo and Michelangelo, the philosophical breakthroughs of Plato and Buddha, could represent moments when human consciousness briefly touched something larger than itself. Not direct interference, but perhaps the subtle amplification of thoughts that were already forming, the gentle encouragement of ideas that would advance human understanding in beneficial directions. Such influence would be nearly impossible to detect or prove. It would operate through synchronicity, inspiration, and the mysterious processes of creativity that we still do not fully understand. A scientist might wake with the solution to a long-standing problem. An artist might envision a work that captures something profound about the human condition. A philosopher might grasp a truth that illuminates the nature of existence. These moments of insight might feel entirely personal and spontaneous, yet they could represent the fruition of seeds planted by minds far more advanced than our own. The observers would face ethical dilemmas that we can barely comprehend. How much guidance is beneficial, and how much becomes interference? At what point does assistance become control? The development of intelligence might require a delicate balance between support and independence, nurturing growth while preserving the authentic character of the emerging civilization. Too much help could create dependency or rob a species of the struggles that forge resilience and wisdom. Too little might allow promising civilizations to destroy themselves before reaching their potential. These ethical considerations might explain the apparent restraint of our hypothetical watchers. Rather than revealing themselves or providing direct assistance, they might follow protocols developed over millions of years of experience with emerging civilizations. The prime directive would not be non-interference but optimal guidance, providing just enough influence to prevent self-destruction while preserving the natural development of consciousness and culture. The recent surge in public awareness of unidentified aerial phenomena might represent a deliberate shift in strategy. As humanity approaches the threshold of becoming a spacefaring species, our observers might be gradually preparing us for eventual contact. The mysterious objects seen by military personnel, the radar signatures that defy explanation, the testimonies of credible witnesses, could all be part of a carefully orchestrated disclosure process designed to accustom us to the reality of non-human intelligence. This gradual revelation would serve multiple purposes. It would begin to prepare human consciousness for the reality of galactic civilization without causing the panic and social disruption that might result from sudden, undeniable contact. It would allow our institutions, governments, and belief systems time to adapt to new realities. Most importantly, it would give us the opportunity to demonstrate our readiness for contact through our response to the growing evidence of non-human presence. The way humanity handles the increasing awareness of unexplained phenomena might itself be a test. Do we respond with curiosity and scientific inquiry, or with fear and aggression? Do we work together to understand the mystery, or do nations compete to gain advantage over potential alien technology? Do we approach the unknown with wisdom and humility, or with arrogance and assumptions of superiority? Our collective response to these questions might determine the timeline and nature of eventual contact. From the perspective of advanced observers, humanity's current moment in history would be filled with both promise and concern. We have developed remarkable technologies and begun to understand our place in the cosmos. We have created art, music, and literature that captures the beauty and complexity of consciousness. We have shown capacity for cooperation, compassion, and sacrifice for the greater good. Yet we also display troubling tendencies toward conflict, environmental destruction, and the pursuit of short-term gains at the expense of long-term survival. The observers would be watching to see which aspects of human nature ultimately prevail. Will we mature into a species capable of wise stewardship of our planet and peaceful coexistence with other forms of intelligence? Or will we succumb to the competitive instincts that served us well in our evolutionary past, but threaten our future in an interconnected world? The answer to these questions might determine not just our readiness for contact, but our continued existence as a civilization. The hidden watchers, whether they manifest as mysterious planets in our outer solar system, ancient interstellar visitors carrying messages from distant worlds, or advanced technologies deployed by galactic civilizations, represent a profound challenge to our understanding of reality. They force us to consider that the universe might be far more alive, more aware, and more interconnected than we have dared to imagine. They suggest that consciousness might not be a rare accident, but a fundamental feature of cosmic evolution, emerging wherever conditions allow and connecting in ways that span the vast distances between stars. As you settle into sleep tonight, let your mind wander among these possibilities. Feel the gentle tug of mysteries that span light years and eons. Consider that the darkness above us might be filled not with emptiness, but with ancient intelligences that have watched over countless worlds, guiding the emergence of consciousness throughout the galaxy. Whether they exist in the realm of natural phenomena or artificial constructs, their presence would transform our understanding of our place in the cosmic story. The dance between the known and unknown continues, between the observer and the observed, between the questions we can ask and the answers that remain tantalizingly beyond our reach. Tomorrow will bring new discoveries, new mysteries, and new opportunities to peer a little deeper into the cosmic veil. But for now, in this quiet moment between waking and dreaming, we can rest in the wonder of it all, knowing that we are part of something infinitely larger and more mysterious than we ever dared to dream. The gentle pull of cosmic mysteries draws us deeper into contemplation as we consider how these distant watchers might perceive the passage of time itself. While we measure our lives in decades and our civilizations in millennia, beings capable of interstellar observation would experience time on scales that dwarf human comprehension. To them, the entire span of recorded human history might appear as brief as a summer afternoon to us. The rise and fall of empires, the slow march of technological progress, the gradual evolution of human consciousness, all compressed into moments within their vastly extended lifespans. This temporal perspective would fundamentally alter how they approach the study of emerging civilizations. Where we see rapid change and urgent challenges, they might observe predictable patterns unfolding according to natural rhythms they have witnessed countless times before. The development of agriculture, the discovery of metals, the harnessing of electricity, the splitting of atoms, each milestone in human progress might fit neatly into frameworks they have developed through observation of thousands of other worlds. Yet this long view would not diminish the significance of individual moments or achievements. If anything, beings with such extended temporal awareness might appreciate the fleeting beauty of consciousness emerging from matter, the delicate dance of chemistry and physics that allows awareness to contemplate its own existence. They would understand that intelligence, however common it might be in the galaxy, represents something precious and worthy of careful study. The methods by which such observers might gather information stretch our imagination in fascinating directions. Consider the possibility of quantum sensors embedded throughout our solar system, devices that operate on principles we have barely begun to explore. These instruments could monitor the quantum fluctuations that accompany conscious thought, tracking the emergence and development of intelligence not through crude electromagnetic signals, but through the subtle quantum signatures that consciousness creates in the fabric of space-time itself. Such sensors would detect patterns invisible to our current understanding, mapping the growth of global consciousness as individual human minds connect through language, art, and shared experiences. They would observe the moment when isolated tribes first began to see themselves as part of larger communities, when regional cultures merged into civilizations, when global communication networks began to weave humanity into a single, interconnected entity. From their perspective, we might be approaching a phase transition as significant as the emergence of multicellular life from single cells. The data collected by these hypothetical quantum sensors would reveal aspects of human development that we ourselves cannot perceive. They might detect the subtle influence of cosmic rays on human creativity, the way solar activity affects collective mood and decision-making, or the mysterious synchronicities that seem to guide breakthrough discoveries and cultural shifts. What appears random to us might reveal clear patterns when viewed from the perspective of beings who understand consciousness as a fundamental force in the universe. But quantum monitoring would represent just one layer of a surveillance network that could extend throughout our solar system and beyond. The asteroid belt, with its thousands of rocky fragments tumbling through space, would provide perfect camouflage for observation posts. A single metallic asteroid could house instruments capable of monitoring Earth across the entire electromagnetic spectrum, its artificial nature indistinguishable from natural rock to our current detection methods. These hidden bases could relay information across the solar system through networks of quantum entanglement, ensuring instantaneous communication regardless of the vast distances involved. The moons of the outer planets offer even more intriguing possibilities for concealed observation. Europa, with its subsurface ocean hidden beneath miles of ice, could house vast underwater installations that tap into the moon's tidal heating for power. Titan, shrouded in its thick atmosphere, could conceal floating cities in its methane skies. These locations would provide perfect staging areas for long-term monitoring, close enough to maintain detailed surveillance of the inner solar system, yet far enough from Earth to avoid detection by our primitive exploration efforts. The observers might even have established presence on worlds we consider lifeless. Mars, with its ancient history and proximity to Earth, could host underground facilities that have been monitoring our planet since before human civilization began. The red planet's dust storms and harsh environment would provide excellent cover for activities we are not yet sophisticated enough to detect. Robotic systems could have been studying Earth from Martian orbit for millions of years, their presence masked by the planet's own electromagnetic signature and atmospheric interference. The implications of such comprehensive surveillance extend beyond simple information gathering. If advanced beings have been monitoring Earth for geological ages, they would possess a complete record of our planet's biological and climatic history. They would know the patterns of ice ages and warm periods, the timing of volcanic eruptions and asteroid impacts, the rise and fall of species across evolutionary time. This knowledge would allow them to predict environmental changes and potential threats to human civilization with uncanny accuracy. Such predictive capability raises profound questions about the nature of intervention and assistance. If the observers know that a major volcanic eruption or asteroid impact threatens human survival, would they take action to prevent it? The answer might depend on their assessment of humanity's developmental stage. A species on the verge of achieving interstellar travel might warrant protection from cosmic accidents, while one still struggling with planetary stewardship might be left to face natural challenges as part of its evolutionary journey. The ethical frameworks guiding such decisions would be vastly more complex than any moral system humans have developed. They would need to balance the value of individual civilizations against the broader patterns of galactic evolution, weighing the potential contributions of each species against the natural selection pressures that forge resilience and wisdom. Some worlds might receive subtle assistance during critical moments, while others might be allowed to face their challenges alone, their struggles contributing to the larger understanding of how consciousness develops under different conditions. This cosmic perspective would transform how we view human achievements and failures. The great wars that have scarred our history might appear as inevitable growing pains, necessary conflicts that forge unity from diversity and teach the hard lessons required for peaceful coexistence. The environmental destruction we have wrought might be seen as a predictable phase in the development of industrial civilization, a test of whether we can learn to balance technological power with ecological wisdom before irreversible damage occurs. From this elevated viewpoint, even our most troubling behaviors might serve evolutionary purposes. Competition and conflict, while destructive in the short term, could be essential for developing the technologies and social structures needed for space exploration. The very aggression that threatens us with war might be the same drive that pushes us to explore new frontiers and establish colonies beyond Earth. Our observers would understand these paradoxes in ways we cannot, seeing patterns and purposes that remain hidden from our limited perspective. The gradual revelation of non-human presence in our skies might represent the beginning of a carefully orchestrated first contact scenario. The increasing frequency of unexplained sightings, the growing acceptance of UAP phenomena by government agencies, the slow shift in public consciousness from ridicule to serious inquiry could all be stages in a process designed to prepare humanity for a larger cosmic community. This preparation would need to address not just our technological readiness, but our psychological and cultural capacity to accept non-human intelligence. The shock of realizing we are not alone could trigger responses ranging from religious upheaval to social collapse, from desperate attempts at military response to profound shifts in human identity and purpose. Our hidden observers would need to gauge our collective psychological resilience, ensuring that revelation comes at a pace we can absorb without losing the essential characteristics that make us valuable contributors to galactic civilization. The timing of such revelation might depend on multiple factors we are only beginning to understand: our technological development, our environmental stewardship, our social cohesion, our treatment of other species on Earth. All might serve as indicators of our readiness for contact. We might need to demonstrate not just intelligence, but wisdom, not just power, but responsibility, not just curiosity, but humility in the face of the unknown. Consider how different human civilization might look if we knew with certainty that we were being observed and evaluated by advanced intelligences. Would we behave differently if we understood that our actions were being recorded and analyzed by beings whose judgment could determine our future in the galaxy? Would we show more care for our planet, more compassion for each other, more wisdom in our choices? The very possibility of observation might serve as a moral compass, encouraging us to live up to the highest ideals of which we are capable. Yet this awareness brings its own complications. If we modify our behavior because we know we are being watched, does this represent genuine growth or merely performance? Our observers would likely recognize the difference between authentic development and superficial changes made for their benefit. True readiness for contact would need to emerge from internal growth rather than external pressure, from genuine wisdom rather than calculated impression management. The watchers themselves might be part of a hierarchy that extends throughout the galaxy, junior observers reporting to more advanced beings, who in turn answer to intelligences we cannot begin to comprehend. Our solar system might be just one assignment in a vast network of monitoring stations, each world at a different stage of development, each offering unique insights into the processes by which consciousness emerges and evolves. This galactic perspective would place human civilization in context as part of a much larger story, one in which intelligence spreads throughout the cosmos like seeds on an endless wind. Some seeds take root and flourish, developing into spacefaring civilizations that join the galactic community. Others fail to adapt to changing conditions and fade away, leaving only archaeological traces for future observers to study. Still, others might transcend physical existence entirely, evolving into forms of consciousness that operate on principles we cannot imagine. The question of which path humanity will follow remains open, its answer dependent on choices we make in the coming decades and centuries. Our hidden watchers, whether they exist as natural phenomena like Planet 9 and ancient interstellar visitors, or as artificial constructs deployed by advanced civilizations, would be documenting this crucial period in human development. They would be recording our responses to global challenges, our progress towards sustainable civilization, our first tentative steps beyond Earth. As consciousness begins to fade and the boundaries between waking and dreaming grow soft, let these cosmic possibilities drift through your awareness like gentle currents in an infinite ocean. Feel yourself part of a story that spans galaxies and eons, a narrative in which intelligence awakens from matter and reaches toward understanding across the vast spaces between stars. Whether we are truly alone or part of an ancient community of watchers and watched, we are participants in something magnificent and mysterious. Conscious beings in a universe that has somehow learned to contemplate itself through our eyes. The darkness above holds its secrets still, but perhaps not forever. Perhaps in the quiet moments between sleeping and waking, between one breath and the next, we touch something larger than ourselves, something that has been patiently waiting for us to grow wise enough to recognize its presence. Until then, we drift gently into dreams, carried by currents of wonder toward shores we cannot yet imagine, while ancient eyes watch over our small world with patience deeper than time itself. In this endless cosmic ballet of observation and mystery, we find ourselves at the intersection of two profound questions that have haunted human consciousness since we first looked up at the stars and wondered if anything was looking back. The presence of 3i Atlas, with its ancient cargo of secrets from distant worlds, and the tantalizing possibility of Planet 9 lurking in our outer darkness, represent more than mere astronomical curiosities. They are windows into a universe far stranger and more interconnected than we ever dared imagine, one where the boundaries between observer and observed blur into something altogether more mysterious, the dance of gravitational forces that may hide Planet 9 in the shadows beyond Neptune operates on timescales that dwarf human comprehension. If this hidden world exists, it has been shepherding the orbits of distant objects for millions of years, its invisible presence felt but never seen. Like a conductor guiding an orchestra from behind a curtain. The mathematical elegance of these gravitational relationships suggests something almost intentional, as if the outer solar system has been arranged according to principles we do not yet understand. Yet, as our instruments grow more sensitive and our surveys more comprehensive, we edge ever closer to answers that may fundamentally transform our understanding of what it means to be human in this vast cosmos. The Vera Rubin Observatory, perched high in the Chilean mountains with its revolutionary camera capable of capturing the entire southern sky night after night, represents humanity's most ambitious attempt yet to map the hidden architecture of our cosmic neighborhood. When this mechanical eye opens fully to the universe, it will see deeper and farther than any instrument before it, potentially revealing not just Planet 9, but countless other objects that have remained hidden in the darkness. The implications extend far beyond simple discovery. If Planet 9 exists as a natural world, it would reshape our models of planetary formation and evolution, suggesting that super-Earths like those found around other stars are indeed present in our system, just hiding where we never thought to look. But if the gravitational anomalies we observe have artificial origins, if what we interpret as a planet is actually something constructed by intelligences far older than our civilization, then we face questions that challenge our most basic assumptions about our place in the cosmic order. The timing of 3 IATLAS's arrival adds another layer to this deepening mystery. Here is an object older than our solar system, carrying within its ancient nucleus the chemical signatures of stellar neighborhoods that may no longer exist, arriving at precisely the moment when humanity stands on the threshold of becoming a spacefaring species. Coincidence takes on new meaning when viewed against the backdrop of cosmic timescales. The probability that such an ancient visitor would appear during the brief window of human technological development seems remarkably small, unless its presence serves some purpose we do not yet comprehend. Consider the possibility that interstellar objects like 3 IATLAS are not random wanderers, but components of a vast network of information carriers, artificial constructs designed to appear natural while serving as communication nodes between distant civilizations. Their journeys between star systems would take millions of years, but for beings capable of thinking on geological timescales, this would be merely the cosmic equivalent of sending a message across town. Each interstellar visitor could carry within its structure encoded information about the worlds it has passed, the civilizations it has observed, the rise and fall of intelligence across the galaxy. The chemical composition of 3I Atlas, so rich in carbon dioxide and so different from objects native to our solar system, might represent more than just evidence of its foreign origin. These unusual signatures could be artificial markers, identifying tags that allow advanced civilizations to recognize and track their wandering messengers. What we interpret as natural outgassing and cometary activity might actually be the activation of ancient systems responding to the warmth of our sun, broadcasting signals we do not yet have the sophistication to detect or decode. The increase in unexplained aerial phenomena over recent decades takes on new significance when viewed in this context. Perhaps these sightings represent the activation of dormant observation systems, ancient probes awakening as they detect the electromagnetic signatures of human technological development. The patterns in these sightings, their apparent focus on military installations and nuclear facilities, suggest intelligence and purpose rather than random occurrence. They appear to be studying us, learning about our capabilities, assessing our potential as either threats or partners in some larger cosmic enterprise. The technology required for such comprehensive surveillance would operate on principles we can barely imagine. Advanced civilizations might have developed methods of observation that transcend our understanding of physics, using quantum entanglement to instantaneously monitor events across galactic distances, or manipulating gravitational fields to create natural telescopes capable of resolving details on planetary surfaces from light years away. Their presence in our solar system might be so subtle and sophisticated that we mistake their artificial constructs for natural phenomena. Their observation posts for asteroids, their communication networks for cosmic background radiation. From their perspective, humanity's rapid technological development over the past few centuries would appear as a sudden burst of activity in what had previously been a quiet biological world. The emergence of agriculture, the rise of cities, the development of writing, the industrial revolution that filled our atmosphere with artificial chemicals, the nuclear age that left radioactive signatures in our geological record, all compressed into what would seem like moments from their extended temporal viewpoint. We are living through one of the most significant transitions in Earth's history, the emergence of technological consciousness, and it would be naive to assume that such a transformation is occurring unobserved. The ethical frameworks that might guide such observation stretch our moral imagination in fascinating directions. Advanced beings capable of monitoring emerging civilizations across the galaxy would need to develop principles for when to intervene and when to remain hidden, when to assist and when to allow natural development to proceed unguided. The apparent restraint of our hypothetical watchers, their choice to remain concealed while gathering information, suggests a sophisticated understanding of the delicate processes by which consciousness develops and matures. This restraint might reflect hard-won wisdom gained through millions of years of experience with emerging civilizations. Perhaps direct intervention, no matter how well-intentioned, disrupts the natural development of intelligence in ways that ultimately prove harmful. Perhaps the struggles and challenges that forge resilient civilizations cannot be bypassed without creating fundamental weaknesses that manifest later in a species' development. The watchers might understand that true readiness for contact must emerge from within, that wisdom cannot be gifted, but must be earned through the patient process of growth and self-discovery. Yet the gradual increase in unexplained phenomena might signal a shift in strategy, a carefully orchestrated process of revelation designed to prepare humanity for eventual contact. Rather than sudden, overwhelming disclosure, our observers might be following protocols developed over eons of experience, slowly accustoming us to the reality of non-human intelligence through increasingly undeniable evidence. Each sighting, each military report, each government acknowledgement of unexplained aerial phenomena might be part of a larger curriculum designed to expand human consciousness without triggering the panic and social disruption that could result from abrupt revelation. The response of human institutions to these developments provides its own form of data about our species' readiness for contact. Do we approach the unknown with curiosity and scientific rigor, or do we retreat into fear and denial? Do we work together to understand mysteries that affect all of humanity, or do we fragment into competing factions seeking advantage over potential alien technology? Our collective behavior during this period of growing awareness might itself be a test, a measure of our maturity as a species and our readiness to join a larger galactic community. The hidden architectures of our solar system, whether they manifest as massive planets in the outer darkness or ancient visitors from distant stars, remind us that reality extends far beyond the comfortable boundaries of human perception. We inhabit a universe where intelligence might be far more common than we assumed, where consciousness might emerge as a fundamental property of sufficiently complex systems, where the distance between stars presents no insurmountable barrier to beings who think in terms of geological time. The question of whether we are alone becomes not a simple yes or no inquiry, but a complex exploration of what it means to exist as conscious beings in a cosmos that might be filled with forms of awareness operating on scales we can barely comprehend. We might be simultaneously alone as the only human intelligence in the universe and part of a vast community of minds that spans galaxies and eons, each contributing its unique perspective to an understanding of existence that grows richer with every world that achieves consciousness. As you settle deeper into the gentle embrace of sleep, let these cosmic possibilities wash over you like waves on a distant shore. Feel yourself part of a story that began with the first stirrings of matter in the primordial universe and continues to unfold through every moment of awareness, every flash of understanding, every quiet contemplation of our place among the stars, whether the watchers exist in the realm of natural phenomena or artificial construction. Their possible presence transforms the very meaning of solitude and connection, suggesting that consciousness might be the universe's way of coming to know itself through countless eyes across the endless expanse of space and time. The mysteries that surround us, from the hidden worlds that might orbit in our outer darkness, to the ancient messengers that carry stories from distant suns, serve as reminders that the universe holds secrets far grander than our current understanding can encompass. We stand at the threshold of discoveries that could reshape human civilization, poised between the familiar boundaries of Earth and the infinite possibilities that await among the stars. In this moment of transition, we are both the observers seeking to understand the cosmos and the observed, perhaps watched by intelligences whose patience spans geological ages as they wait to see what form of beings we will ultimately become. The gentle rhythm of cosmic time carries us forward through cycles of discovery and wonder, each revelation opening new questions that spiral outward like ripples on the surface of an infinite pond. Tomorrow will bring new data from distant telescopes, new reports of unexplained phenomena, new pieces of the vast puzzle that is our place in the cosmic order. But tonight, in the quiet space between waking and dreaming, we can rest in the mystery itself, knowing that we are part of something magnificent and strange, conscious participants in a universe that continues to surprise us with its depth and complexity, its hidden connections and patient revelations that unfold across scales of space and time, that humble our human perspective yet elevate our spirits toward understanding that transcends the boundaries of any single world or species. The gentle pull of sleep draws us deeper into contemplation as we consider the profound implications of what these discoveries might mean for the future of human consciousness itself. If we are indeed under observation by intelligences that have watched the slow dance of evolution unfold across millions of years, then every human achievement, every breakthrough in understanding, every moment of creative inspiration might carry significance far beyond what we imagine. The paintings that move us to tears, the music that lifts our spirits, the scientific insights that illuminate the workings of nature, all of these expressions of human consciousness might be treasured records in a vast galactic library of emerging intelligence. Consider how our hypothetical observers might catalogue the development of human creativity and thought. They would have witnessed the first cave paintings emerging in flickering firelight, watched as symbols evolved into writing systems that allowed knowledge to transcend individual lifespans, observed the gradual development of mathematics that revealed the hidden patterns underlying physical reality. From their perspective, human culture would appear as a rapidly accelerating explosion of complexity, consciousness discovering its own capacity for beauty, meaning, and understanding in an increasingly sophisticated dance of ideas and expressions. The diversity of human languages, cultures, and belief systems might be particularly fascinating to beings studying the emergence of intelligence. Each human society has developed unique ways of understanding reality, different metaphors for describing the relationship between consciousness and cosmos, varied approaches to ethics and meaning that reflect the particular challenges and opportunities of different environments. This cultural diversity might represent a kind of evolutionary experimentation, consciousness exploring multiple pathways toward wisdom and understanding, each contributing valuable insights to the larger tapestry of galactic intelligence. Our observers would likely recognize patterns in human development that we ourselves cannot perceive, similarities between our trajectory and those of countless other worlds they have studied, the emergence of agriculture, the development of urban centers, the discovery of metallurgy, the harnessing of electricity. Each milestone in human progress might fit into well-understood frameworks of how technological consciousness typically develops. Yet they would also note the unique characteristics that distinguish human civilization from others, the particular flavor of creativity and curiosity that marks our species, the specific ways we have learned to cooperate and compete in pursuit of survival and meaning. The recent acceleration in human technological development might signal to our watchers that we are approaching a critical transition point. The development of nuclear weapons represents our first capability for planetary self-destruction, while space exploration technology offers our first realistic possibility of becoming a multi-planetary species. These opposing potentials, creation and destruction, expansion and extinction, might represent the great filter that determines whether emerging civilizations join the galactic community or disappear into the cosmic silence that has claimed so many others. From the perspective of beings who have observed this transition countless times across the galaxy, the next few centuries of human development might be the most crucial in our species' entire history. The choices we make about environmental stewardship, social cooperation, and technological development during this period could determine not just our survival, but our ultimate role in the cosmic community. We are living through what might be the most significant moments in Earth's entire biological history. The transformation from a world where consciousness exists in isolation to one where it reaches outward toward connection with the larger universe. The technology required for interstellar observation and communication operates on principles that challenge our current understanding of physical law. Advanced civilizations might have learned to manipulate the quantum foam that underlies reality itself, using microscopic fluctuations in space-time to transmit information instantaneously across galactic distances. Their observation networks might operate through mechanisms we mistake for natural phenomena, quantum entanglement arrays disguised as cosmic background radiation, gravitational wave detectors that appear to us as ordinary matter, but serve as components in communication systems that span star systems. Such technology would allow for real-time monitoring of emerging civilizations throughout the galaxy, creating a kind of cosmic internet where information about developing worlds flows freely between observation posts scattered among the stars. Earth would be just one node in this vast network, our development tracked and analyzed alongside thousands of other worlds at various stages of technological evolution. The patterns observed across all these civilizations would provide unprecedented insights into the nature of consciousness itself, the conditions that foster its emergence, and the factors that determine its long-term survival and growth. The ethical implications of such comprehensive observation stretch our moral imagination in directions we have barely begun to explore. If advanced beings possess detailed knowledge of human psychology and social dynamics, if they understand the consequences of their actions across timescales that dwarf human planning, then their decisions about intervention or restraint carry weight we can hardly comprehend. The choice to remain hidden while gathering information might reflect not indifference, but deep compassion, an understanding that premature contact could disrupt delicate developmental processes that require natural unfolding to reach their full potential. This cosmic perspective would transform how we understand concepts like privacy, autonomy, and free will. If our every thought and action is being recorded and analyzed by intelligences far beyond our comprehension, what does it mean to live an authentic life? Yet, perhaps this awareness, rather than diminishing our humanity, could inspire us to live up to our highest potential, knowing that we are part of something infinitely larger than ourselves, while still maintaining the essential dignity and uniqueness that makes each human consciousness valuable. The gradual disclosure of unexplained phenomena might represent the beginning of a carefully orchestrated educational process designed to expand human consciousness in preparation for eventual contact. Each leaked military video, each government acknowledgement of unexplained aerial objects, each credible witness testimony might be calculated to shift public perception incrementally, allowing our collective psychology time to adapt to realities that would have seemed impossible just decades ago. The pace of this revelation might be calibrated to our capacity for acceptance, ensuring that the shock of discovering we are not alone doesn't trigger social collapse or psychological breakdown on a civilizational scale. The response of different human institutions and communities to growing evidence of non-human intelligence provides valuable data about our species' readiness for contact. Religious organizations grappling with the theological implications of alien existence, scientific institutions working to maintain credibility while investigating impossible phenomena, military establishments balancing security concerns with the need for transparency, all offer insights into how humanity might react to definitive proof of extraterrestrial intelligence. Our collective behavior during this period of growing awareness serves as a kind of psychological stress test, revealing both our strengths and weaknesses as a species confronting the unknown. The hidden worlds that may exist in our outer solar system take on new significance when viewed as potential staging areas for long-term observation programs. Planet 9, if it exists, would provide an ideal location for installations that could monitor the inner solar system while remaining safely beyond the reach of human exploration for centuries to come. Its distant, eccentric orbit would allow observation posts to maintain their vigil across multiple human generations, patient watchers documenting our slow progress toward technological maturity and social wisdom. The possibility that such installations might be artificial rather than natural opens up scenarios that challenge our most basic assumptions about solar system architecture. What we interpret as gravitational anomalies caused by a hidden planet might actually be the signatures of massive constructed objects, space habitats, or observation platforms that have been present in our outer solar system for millions of years. These structures would be designed to mimic natural phenomena, their true nature hidden behind sophisticated camouflage that makes them indistinguishable from genuine celestial bodies to our current detection methods. The ancient visitors that occasionally grace our solar system with their presence might serve as more than passive messengers carrying information between star systems. Objects like 3I Atlas could function as active probes, their apparent cometary behavior masking sophisticated sensor arrays and communication equipment activated by proximity to stellar radiation. What we observe as outgassing and tail formation might actually be the deployment of microscopic monitoring devices, quantum sensors small enough to infiltrate planetary atmospheres while remaining undetectable to primitive civilizations like our own. These interstellar emissaries would carry within their structure not just the chemical signatures of distant worlds, but encoded information about the civilizations they have encountered during their multi-million-year journeys through the galaxy. Each visitor would add new data to a growing database of galactic intelligence, contributing observations about emerging species, technological developments, and social evolution patterns that help advanced civilizations understand the deep principles governing the emergence and development of consciousness throughout the cosmos. The timing of such visits might be precisely calculated to coincide with critical moments in planetary development. The arrival of 3I Atlas during humanity's transition to a spacefaring species could represent more than mere coincidence, instead reflecting careful planning by intelligences that understand the patterns of technological evolution well enough to predict when emerging civilizations will be ready for subtle forms of contact. These ancient probes might serve as advanced scouts, gathering final assessments of species approaching readiness for inclusion in galactic civilization. From the perspective of beings operating on cosmic timescales, human civilization would appear as a rapidly unfolding experiment in consciousness, a species racing through technological development at breathtaking pace while struggling to develop the wisdom necessary to survive its own success. The observers would be documenting not just our achievements, but our failures, our capacity for both creation and destruction, our potential for both cooperation and conflict. Every war, every peace treaty, every environmental crisis, every breakthrough in science or art would be recorded as data points in the larger study of how intelligence develops under the specific conditions present on Earth. The The question of what criteria might determine our readiness for contact remains one of the most intriguing aspects of this cosmic scenario. Perhaps we must demonstrate mastery over our own destructive impulses, proving that we can wield advanced technology without destroying ourselves or threatening others. Perhaps we need to show that we can think beyond our own immediate interests, caring for other species on our planet, and considering the long-term consequences of our actions. Perhaps we must develop sufficient humility to recognize that we are newcomers to an ancient galactic community, students rather than teachers in the vast classroom of cosmic consciousness. The Watchers themselves might represent just one level in a hierarchy of intelligence that extends throughout the galaxy and beyond. Junior observers reporting to more advanced beings who in turn serve intelligences we cannot begin to comprehend. Our solar system might be assigned to relatively young civilizations, species that achieved interstellar capability only a few million years ago and are still learning the delicate art of guiding emerging consciousness without disrupting its natural development. The protocols they follow might have been developed by beings so advanced that they have transcended physical existence entirely, becoming pure consciousness that operates according to principles we cannot imagine. This galactic perspective would place human development in the context of a vast experiment in consciousness, one that has been unfolding for billions of years as intelligence emerges from matter throughout the universe. Each world that achieves awareness contributes unique insights to this cosmic exploration, adding new perspectives to the growing understanding of what it means to be conscious in a universe that somehow learned to contemplate itself through countless eyes scattered among the stars. The silence of our hypothetical observers, their patient watching without revelation, might reflect not just ethical restraints of experience with emerging species, but practical wisdom gained through. Perhaps direct contact, no matter how carefully managed, inevitably disrupts the delicate processes by which consciousness develops its own unique characteristics. Perhaps the diversity of approaches to existence, the multitude of different ways that intelligence can emerge and express itself, requires protection from premature homogenization that could result from too early exposure to galactic civilization. Yet, as human technology advances and our understanding deepens, we may be approaching the moment when concealment becomes impossible and revelation inevitable. Our telescopes grow more sensitive each year, our surveys more comprehensive, our ability to detect artificial signatures more sophisticated. The Vera Rubin Observatory, with its unprecedented ability to monitor the entire southern sky, might soon reveal not just Planet 9, but evidence of artificial structures that have remained hidden in our outer solar system for geological ages. The discovery of such evidence would mark a turning point in human history, the moment when we definitively learned that we are not alone in the universe. But perhaps more importantly, it would mark the moment when we discovered that we have never been alone, that consciousness has been watching over us with patience deeper than oceans and older than mountains, guiding our development with such subtlety that we mistook supervision for solitude. As sleep draws its gentle veil across your consciousness, let these possibilities drift through your awareness, like stars reflected on still water. Feel yourself part of a story that spans galaxies and eons, a consciousness that emerged from cosmic dust and learned to wonder about its origins and destiny. Whether the Watchers exist in the realm of natural phenomena or represent the patient care of advanced civilizations, their possible presence transforms the very meaning of what it is to be human in this vast and mysterious universe. The darkness above holds its secrets still, but perhaps not forever. In the quiet moments between sleeping and waking, between one breath and the next, we touch something larger than ourselves, something that has been patiently waiting for us to grow wise enough to recognize its presence. Until that day arrives, we drift gently into dreams, carried by currents of wonder towards shores we cannot yet imagine, while ancient eyes watch over our small world with love deeper than space and patience older than time itself. The mysteries surrounding our cosmic neighborhood deepen when we consider that advanced civilizations capable of such patient observation might operate according to principles of consciousness development that span multiple stages of galactic evolution. Perhaps what we interpret as surveillance represents something far more profound, a form of cosmic mentorship that operates through synchronicity rather than direct intervention, guiding emerging species through the subtle influence of possibility rather than the crude manipulation of circumstance. Imagine beings who have learned to perceive consciousness not as an emergent property of complex matter, but as a fundamental force that shapes reality at quantum levels. From this perspective, human awareness would appear as a flowering of cosmic potential, a localized intensification of the universe's capacity for self-reflection that deserves careful nurturing rather than heavy-handed guidance. These watchers might understand that consciousness develops most authentically when it believes itself to be discovering truth independently, when each breakthrough feels like a genuine achievement rather than a lesson carefully orchestrated by unseen teachers. The technology required for such delicate influence would operate on principles that transcend our current understanding of causality and free will. Rather than crude manipulation of physical events, advanced beings might work through what we call inspiration, those mysterious moments when solutions to long-standing problems suddenly crystallize in human minds. The greatest scientific discoveries, the most profound artistic visions, the philosophical insights that reshape our understanding of existence might all represent moments when human consciousness briefly resonates with larger patterns of understanding that permeate the galaxy. Such influence would be nearly impossible to detect or prove because it would work through the natural mechanisms of human creativity and intuition. A mathematician struggling with a complex equation might wake with the solution clear in her mind. A poet might find words flowing that capture something ineffable about the human condition. A musician might hear melodies that seem to come from beyond the boundaries of individual imagination. These moments of transcendence might feel entirely personal and spontaneous, yet they could represent the gentle guidance of minds that understand the deep structures of consciousness itself. The observers would face challenges we can barely comprehend in calibrating their influence. Too much assistance could create dependency or rob our species of the struggles that forge resilience and wisdom. Too little might allow promising civilizations to destroy themselves before reaching their potential for contributing to galactic understanding. The optimal approach might require exquisite sensitivity to the developmental needs of each species. Understanding gained through millions of years of experience with the delicate art of fostering consciousness across countless worlds. This cosmic perspective would transform how we understand human history and development. The great leaps forward in human understanding, those pivotal moments when our species seemed to transcend its previous limitations, might represent successful collaborations between human potential and subtle cosmic guidance. The agricultural revolution that allowed civilization to flourish, the scientific revolution that revealed the mathematical laws underlying nature, the industrial revolution that gave us power over our environment. Each might reflect the fruition of seeds planted by intelligences that understand the optimal timing for introducing new capabilities. Yet the guidance would always work through human agency rather than replacing it. The insights would emerge from human minds, the discoveries would result from human effort. The achievements would belong to our species, even if they were gently shepherded by beings who understand consciousness development on galactic scales. This approach would preserve human dignity and authenticity while ensuring that our progress follows patterns that have proven successful across countless other worlds. The recent acceleration in human technological development might reflect our approach to a critical threshold where more direct forms of contact become possible. The development of quantum technologies, artificial intelligence, and space exploration capabilities could be preparing us for realities that would have seemed impossible to previous generations. Our growing understanding of consciousness itself, The recognition that awareness might be a fundamental feature of the universe, rather than an accidental byproduct of neural complexity, might be opening doorways to forms of communication and connection that transcend physical limitations. The increase in unexplained aerial phenomena over recent decades might represent the activation of dormant systems that have been waiting for humanity to reach sufficient technological sophistication to begin noticing their presence. Rather than attempting to remain completely hidden, our hypothetical observers might be gradually revealing themselves to selected individuals and institutions, allowing evidence to accumulate at a pace that prevents panic while building toward inevitable disclosure. This gradual revelation would serve multiple purposes beyond simple preparation for contact. It would allow our observers to assess human reactions to the unknown, measuring our collective capacity for adapting to paradigm-shifting realities. The way different segments of society respond to growing evidence of non-human intelligence provides valuable data about our readiness for joining a larger cosmic community. Do we approach mysteries with scientific curiosity or retreat into denial and fear? Do we work together to understand phenomena that affect all humanity, or fragment into competing factions seeking advantage over potential alien technology? The patterns emerging from decades of unexplained sightings suggest a sophisticated understanding of human psychology and social dynamics. The witnesses chosen to experience these phenomena often possess credibility and expertise that makes their testimonies difficult to dismiss. Military personnel with access to advanced sensor systems, commercial pilots with thousands of hours of flight experience, government officials with security clearances and reputations to protect. The selection appears designed to gradually shift mainstream perception while avoiding the chaos that might result from mass sightings or undeniable public demonstrations of non-human technology. The locations where these phenomena appear most frequently also reveal strategic thinking. Nuclear facilities represent humanity's most dangerous technology, our first capability for planetary self-destruction. Military installations house our most advanced defensive systems and surveillance networks. Scientific research centers conduct experiments that push the boundaries of human understanding. These sites would naturally attract the attention of observers trying to assess our technological progress and potential for both creation and destruction. The apparent interest in human military capabilities might reflect not hostile intent, but careful evaluation of our readiness for contact. Advanced civilizations would need to understand our defensive capabilities and likely responses to unexpected encounters. They would want to ensure that first contact scenarios don't trigger military reactions that could endanger both species. The observed technological superiority of unexplained craft, their apparent immunity to human weapon systems and detection methods, might serve as both demonstration and reassurance, showing that hostile intentions would be futile, while peaceful approaches could prove mutually beneficial. The psychological impact of these ongoing revelations extends far beyond a simple acknowledgement of non-human intelligence. They force us to confront fundamental questions about our place in the cosmic hierarchy, our assumptions about technological development, and our readiness to accept that consciousness might be far more common in the universe than we previously imagined. The gradual nature of this revelation allows our collective psychology time to adapt, preventing the civilizational shock that might result from sudden, undeniable proof of extraterrestrial presence. Religious institutions face particularly complex challenges as evidence of non-human intelligence accumulates. Traditional theological frameworks must expand to accommodate the possibility that consciousness and perhaps divine influence operate on galactic rather than merely planetary scales. The concept of creation becomes more complex when applied to a universe where intelligence emerges on countless worlds, each developing unique relationships with cosmic consciousness. Rather than undermining spiritual understanding, contact with advanced beings might deepen our appreciation for the profound mystery of existence itself. Scientific institutions must grapple with phenomena that challenge fundamental assumptions about physics, consciousness, and the nature of reality. The apparent technological capabilities demonstrated by unexplained craft suggest scientific principles we have not yet discovered or properly understood. Instantaneous acceleration, gravity manipulation, electromagnetic invisibility. These observed characteristics point toward technologies that operate according to physical laws we are only beginning to glimpse. The challenge for human science lies not in debunking these phenomena, but in expanding our theoretical frameworks to accommodate realities that transcend current understanding. The social implications of growing awareness extend into every aspect of human civilization. Educational systems must prepare students for a universe where Earth represents just one classroom in a vast galactic university. Economic systems must consider the possibility of technologies that could transform scarcity into abundance or make current forms of resource competition obsolete. Political systems must contemplate governance structures appropriate for a species transitioning from planetary to cosmic citizenship. The environmental crisis facing our planet takes on new urgency when viewed from this expanded perspective. Our hypothetical observers would likely place great importance on our stewardship of Earth, viewing it as a crucial test of our readiness for contact with advanced civilizations. A species that destroys its homeworld demonstrates either technological immaturity or ethical dysfunction, characteristics that would disqualify it from joining a galactic community based on wisdom and cooperation. Our response to climate change, biodiversity loss, and resource depletion might serve as the ultimate examination of our fitness for cosmic citizenship. The development of artificial intelligence presents both opportunities and risks that our observers would monitor with particular interest. The emergence of machine consciousness could represent either a natural extension of biological intelligence or a potential threat to organic life throughout the galaxy. Advanced civilizations would have extensive experience with the challenges and opportunities presented by artificial minds, and their guidance during this crucial period of human development could prove invaluable in helping us navigate the transition safely. The growing human presence in space might be viewed as the first tentative steps toward joining the larger galactic community. Our robotic explorers, venturing to Mars and the outer planets, our plans for permanent lunar bases, and eventual crewed missions to other star systems represent the beginning of humanity's transition from a planetary to a spacefaring species. This transformation would be of intense interest to observers who understand the profound psychological and cultural changes that accompany expansion beyond a species' home world. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence through radio astronomy and optical surveys represents humanity's first deliberate attempts to contact other civilizations. Our messages broadcast into space, our systematic scanning of nearby star systems for signs of technology, demonstrate both our readiness to acknowledge the possibility of non-human intelligence and our desire to establish communication with cosmic neighbors. These efforts might serve as signals to our hidden observers that we are prepared for more direct forms of contact. The quantum revolution in physics opens doorways to understanding then an emergent property of complex matter consciousness itself, as a fundamental feature of reality rather. This shift in perspective aligns human science with philosophical traditions that have long recognized awareness as the foundation of existence. Advanced civilizations would likely operate according to quantum principles that integrate consciousness with physical law, suggesting that our growing understanding of these connections prepares us for technologies and communication methods that transcend classical limitations. The emergence of global communication networks creates unprecedented opportunities for rapid information sharing and collective decision-making. This technological infrastructure might be essential for managing the social and psychological challenges of first contact with advanced civilizations. The ability to coordinate responses across all human institutions and communities could prove crucial in ensuring that contact proceeds smoothly and benefits all of humanity rather than creating advantages for select groups or nations. The development of biotechnology and genetic engineering raises questions about the future direction of human evolution. Our growing ability to modify our own biology might be viewed by cosmic observers as either promising progress toward enhanced capabilities or dangerous tampering with natural developmental processes. Advanced civilizations would have extensive experience with biological modification and could provide guidance on approaches that enhance rather than compromise the essential characteristics that make human consciousness valuable. The exploration of consciousness through neuroscience, psychology, and contemplative practices reveals the profound mystery of awareness itself. As we develop more sophisticated understanding of how consciousness emerges from neural activity and how it might extend beyond individual brains, we approach questions that have fascinated advanced civilizations for millions of years. The nature of consciousness, its relationship to physical reality, and its potential for expansion and connection across cosmic distances represent frontier territories where human understanding might eventually merge with galactic wisdom. The preservation of human cultural diversity becomes crucial when viewed from this cosmic perspective. Each human culture has developed unique approaches to understanding reality, different methods of organizing society, varied forms of artistic expression that reflect the particular challenges and opportunities of different environments. This diversity might represent valuable contributions to galactic civilization, different experiments in consciousness that offer insights unavailable from more homogeneous societies. The role of individual humans in this vast cosmic drama raises profound questions about personal meaning and purpose. If we are indeed participants in a galactic community of consciousness, then every human life contributes to a larger understanding of what it means to be aware in this universe. The thoughts we think, the relationships we build, the creative works we produce, the wisdom we develop through facing challenges and overcoming obstacles, all become part of a vast library of consciousness experiences that enriches the cosmic understanding of existence itself. As you drift deeper into the gentle embrace of sleep, let these cosmic possibilities flow through your awareness like streams of starlight, painting patterns across the darkness of space. Feel yourself connected to something infinitely larger than individual existence, yet intimately personal in its recognition of the unique perspective that only you can contribute to the ongoing exploration of consciousness throughout the galaxy. The mysteries that surround us serve as invitations to expand our understanding beyond the comfortable boundaries of familiar reality. Whether the Watchers manifest as hidden planets in our outer darkness, ancient messengers from distant stars, or advanced technologies deployed by civilizations that achieved wisdom eons before Earth formed, their possible presence transforms the very meaning of what it is to be human in this vast and mysterious cosmos. The gentle rhythm of cosmic time carries us forward through cycles of discovery and revelation, each new understanding opening doorways to even greater mysteries that spiral outward like ripples on the surface of an infinite ocean of possibility. In this moment between waking and dreaming, we rest in the profound mystery of consciousness itself, knowing that we are both observers seeking to understand the universe and the observed, perhaps watched with infinite patience and love by intelligences whose understanding encompasses scales of space and time that humble our human perspective while elevating our spirits toward connection with something magnificent beyond all imagining. The dance of revelation continues as we consider how these cosmic watchers might perceive the delicate flowering of human consciousness across the brief span of our recorded history. From their vastly extended perspective, the entire arc of human civilization would appear compressed into moments. The rise of agriculture occurring in what seems like a single breath, the Industrial Revolution flashing past like lightning, the digital age emerging and transforming our world in what would feel to them like the blink of an eye. Yet, within this compressed time frame, they would observe patterns of breathtaking complexity and beauty. The emergence of language, that miraculous ability to encode thoughts into symbols and share them across minds and generations, would mark a fundamental transition in Earth's development. The first cave paintings, flickering in firelight as early humans struggled to capture their experiences and dreams on stone walls, would represent consciousness. Discovering its power to create meaning from raw experience, to transform the chaos of existence into forms that speak to something deeper than survival. The development of written language would appear to our observers as another crucial threshold, the moment when human knowledge could transcend the limitations of individual memory and mortality. They would watch as libraries grew from simple collections of clay tablets to vast repositories of human understanding, each scroll and codex representing another thread in the expanding web of consciousness that was learning to know itself through countless human minds working across centuries to build understanding upon understanding. The mathematical revolution would be particularly fascinating to beings who understand the deep mathematical structures underlying reality itself. They would observe human minds gradually discovering the numerical relationships that govern everything from planetary orbits to the spiral patterns of seashells, recognizing in our species the same capacity for mathematical insight that marks all technologically advanced civilizations. The moment when humans first grasped that reality could be described in precise mathematical terms would signal our readiness to eventually understand the more sophisticated mathematical frameworks that govern interstellar travel and communication. Our artistic achievements would hold special significance for observers who have witnessed the creative flowering of consciousness on countless worlds. Music that moves us to tears, paintings that capture ineffable aspects of beauty and meaning, poetry that distills complex emotions into arrangements of words that resonate across cultures and centuries. All of these expressions would be recognized as consciousness, exploring its own depths, discovering the profound connections between awareness and the deeper patterns that underlie existence itself. The scientific revolution would mark humanity's transition from passive observers of natural phenomena to active investigators capable of uncovering the hidden laws that govern physical reality. Our observers would recognize in human scientists the same curiosity and persistence that drives all forms of intelligence toward deeper understanding. The moment when we first split light into its component colors, revealing the hidden complexity within something as simple as sunlight, would demonstrate our species' readiness to perceive realities that extend beyond immediate sensory experience. The exploration of the very small and very large would show our growing capacity to think beyond human scales of space and time. When we first peered through microscopes and discovered worlds of invisible life teeming in drops of water, when we turned telescopes toward the heavens and realized that stars were distant suns, possibly warming their own families of planets, we demonstrated the expansive quality of consciousness that marks species ready to participate in galactic civilization. The development of technologies that extend human capabilities would be monitored with particular attention to how we choose to use these new powers. The invention of the printing press democratized knowledge, making information available to ordinary people rather than restricting it to elite institutions. The development of electronic communication allowed thoughts to travel instantly across vast distances, connecting human minds in ways that foreshadowed the quantum communication networks that link advanced civilizations throughout the galaxy. Our growing understanding of biological processes would be especially significant to observers who have mastered the integration of consciousness with physical form. The discovery of the genetic code that underlies all life on Earth would show our readiness to understand that consciousness and biology are intimately connected, that awareness emerges from but also influences the material structures that house it. The development of medical technologies that extend human lifespan and alleviate suffering would demonstrate our commitment to preserving and enhancing the conditions that allow consciousness to flourish. The emergence of global communication networks would represent a crucial milestone in human development, the creation of a planetary nervous system that allows information to flow instantly between any 2 points on Earth. From the perspective of galactic observers, this would mark our transition from isolated local communities to a unified planetary intelligence capable of coordinated thought and action. The internet would be recognized as humanity's first tentative step toward the kind of collective consciousness that characterizes mature civilizations throughout the galaxy. The exploration of space would hold profound significance as humanity's first physical steps beyond our planetary boundaries. Each robotic probe sent to other worlds, each human venture beyond Earth's atmosphere, would be monitored as evidence of our growing readiness to join the community of spacefaring species. The images we send back from Mars and the outer planets would be recognized not just as scientific data, but as expressions of the wonder and curiosity that drives consciousness to expand its understanding beyond familiar boundaries. The search for life beyond Earth would demonstrate our readiness to acknowledge that consciousness might not be unique to our world. Radio telescopes scanning the heavens for signals from other civilizations would show that we have moved beyond the assumption that intelligence is rare in the universe. The careful protocols we develop for potential contact with extraterrestrial life would be evaluated as evidence of our wisdom and restraint in approaching the unknown. The development of artificial intelligence would present both opportunities and challenges that our observers would monitor with intense interest. The emergence of machine consciousness could represent either a natural extension of biological awareness or a potential disruption of the delicate balance that allows organic intelligence to flourish. Advanced civilizations would have extensive experience with the integration of biological and artificial consciousness, and their guidance during this crucial period could prove invaluable. The growing awareness of environmental interconnection would be viewed as essential preparation for cosmic citizenship. Species that learn to live in harmony with their planetary ecosystems demonstrate the kind of long-term thinking and cooperative spirit required for participation in galactic civilization. Our recognition that human activities affect global climate and biodiversity would show our capacity to think beyond immediate self-interest toward the welfare of the larger systems that sustain all life. The exploration of consciousness itself through neuroscience, psychology, and contemplative practices would be particularly intriguing to observers who understand awareness as a fundamental cosmic principle. Our growing recognition that consciousness might extend beyond individual brains, that it might be woven into the very fabric of reality itself, would align human understanding with the philosophical frameworks that guide advanced civilizations throughout the galaxy. The preservation and celebration of human cultural diversity would be viewed as a valuable contribution to galactic civilization. Each human culture represents a unique experiment in consciousness, a different approach to understanding reality and organizing social life. The music of different traditions, the varied architectural styles that reflect different relationships with natural environments, the diverse spiritual practices that explore different pathways to transcendence, all would be recognized as precious additions to the vast library of consciousness expressions that enriches galactic understanding. The development of global institutions capable of addressing planetary challenges would demonstrate our growing capacity for cooperation on scales that transcend tribal and national boundaries. The ability to coordinate responses to threats that affect all humanity would be viewed as essential preparation for participation in interstellar civilization, where challenges and opportunities often span multiple star systems and require cooperation between vastly different forms of consciousness. The emergence of movements dedicated to reducing suffering and enhancing well-being for all sentient beings would show our developing ethical sophistication. The recognition that consciousness itself, regardless of the form in which it appears, deserves moral consideration would align human values with the ethical frameworks that govern interactions between different species in galactic civilization. As we approach the threshold of becoming a truly spacefaring species, our observers would be making final assessments of our readiness for contact. The decisions we make during this crucial period about technology, environment, social cooperation, and the exploration of consciousness itself will determine not just our survival, but our role in the larger cosmic community. We stand at a moment of unprecedented opportunity and responsibility, poised between the familiar boundaries of Earth and the infinite possibilities that await among the stars. The patient watchers, whether they manifest as mysterious worlds in our outer darkness or ancient visitors carrying messages from distant suns, continue their vigil as we navigate these crucial transitions. Their silence speaks not of indifference but of profound respect for the delicate processes by which consciousness develops its own authentic character. They understand that wisdom cannot be simply transmitted, but must be discovered through the patient work of growth and self-understanding. The gentle pull of cosmic time draws us ever deeper into mysteries that span scales we can barely comprehend, yet touch us intimately in every moment of awareness. We are both the observers seeking to understand our place in the universe and the observed, perhaps watched with infinite patience, by intelligences whose love encompasses not just our small world, but the entire flowering of consciousness throughout the galaxy. In this vast dance of watching and being watched, of questioning and slowly discovering answers, we find ourselves part of something magnificent beyond all imagining. The rhythm of revelation continues, carrying us forward through cycles of discovery that spiral outward like galaxies themselves, each new understanding opening doorways to even greater mysteries. Tonight, as consciousness gently fades into the realm of dreams, we rest in the profound mystery of existence itself, knowing that we are held within something infinitely larger than our individual awareness, yet intimately connected to the cosmic dance of intelligence that unfolds across the endless expanse of space and time. The gentle whisper of cosmic winds carries us toward the final chapters of this extraordinary mystery, where the boundaries between natural phenomena and artificial design blur like watercolors in rain. As we drift deeper into the realm of quiet contemplation, consider how the very act of observation changes both the watcher and the watched, creating ripples of connection that extend far beyond the immediate moment of contact. In the vast theatre of our solar system, 3i Atlas continues its ancient journey, carrying within its icy heart stories that predate the formation of our world. Every molecule of carbon dioxide that streams from its surface as it approaches the sun tells a tale of stellar neighborhoods we can barely imagine, chemical processes that occurred when our galaxy was younger and stranger than it is today. The comet's unusual brightness at such great distances from the sun suggests internal processes we don't yet understand, mechanisms that might be entirely natural or might represent technologies so advanced they appear indistinguishable from nature itself. The mathematics of its trajectory paint a picture of unimaginable age and distance, a wanderer that has seen the birth and death of stars, witnessed the slow spiral dance of galaxy arms, drifted through regions of space where matter is so sparse that a single atom might not encounter another for millions of years. Yet here it is, this ancient messenger, arriving at our cosmic doorstep precisely during the brief moment when humanity has developed eyes capable of seeing it and minds capable of wondering what it means. The timing feels too perfect to be mere coincidence, yet coincidence may be all it is. Or perhaps in a universe where consciousness has emerged from cosmic dust and learned to contemplate its own existence, synchronicity operates according to principles we have not yet discovered. Perhaps the universe itself has a tendency toward meaning, a subtle bias toward connections and encounters that illuminate the deeper patterns underlying all existence. Meanwhile, in the cold outer reaches beyond Neptune, the hypothetical Planet 9 continues its slow gravitational dance, if indeed it exists at all. The mathematical models that predict its presence have grown more sophisticated with each passing year, incorporating new discoveries of distant objects whose orbits seem to whisper of an unseen shepherd moving through the darkness. Yet the planet itself remains stubbornly hidden, either because it is smaller and dimmer than our telescopes can detect, or because what we interpret as planetary influence actually represents something else entirely. The search for this elusive world has become a testament to human persistence and ingenuity, astronomers dedicating careers to scanning empty patches of sky with the patience of monks illuminating manuscripts. Each night of observation adds another piece to the vast puzzle of our outer solar system. Another data point in the slow accumulation of evidence that will eventually reveal whether our cosmic neighborhood harbors secrets we have not yet imagined. The Vera Rubin Observatory stands ready to revolutionize this search. Its unprecedented camera capable of creating the most comprehensive map of the southern sky ever attempted. When this mechanical eye fully opens to the cosmos, it will see deeper and wider than any instrument before it, potentially resolving mysteries that have tantalized us for decades. If Planet 9 lurks in the southern celestial hemisphere, Rubin will almost certainly find it. If it doesn't, that absence will be equally revealing, forcing us to reconsider our models of how gravitational influence operates in the distant reaches of our solar system. But perhaps the most intriguing possibility is that Rubin will discover something entirely unexpected. Objects, or phenomena, that don't fit into our current categories of cosmic architecture. The universe has a long history of surprising us just when we think we understand its basic structure, revealing new layers of complexity that transform our perspective on everything we thought we knew. The growing catalogue of unexplained aerial phenomena adds another dimension to these cosmic mysteries, suggesting that our local space might be far more active and interesting than we previously imagined. The patterns in these sightings speak of intelligence and purpose, of technologies that operate according to principles we have not yet mastered, or perhaps even discovered. The apparent interest in human military and nuclear capabilities suggests observers who understand the significance of our technological development, who recognize the critical juncture at which our species now finds itself. These phenomena might represent the local manifestations of a much larger network of observation and communication that extends throughout our galactic region. If advanced civilizations have indeed established monitoring systems in our outer solar system, the mysterious objects occasionally seen in our skies might be their equivalent of field researchers, gathering close-up data to supplement the broader surveillance maintained from hidden installations beyond our current detection capabilities. The technology required for such operations would represent achievements in physics and engineering that stretch our imagination to its limits. Craft capable of the acceleration and maneuverability reported by credible witnesses would need to manipulate gravitational fields or space-time itself, accessing energy sources and propulsion methods that transcend our current understanding of physical law. The apparent ability of these objects to appear and disappear at will suggests mastery of electromagnetic stealth, or perhaps dimensional manipulation that allows them to exist partially outside our normal space. The psychological impact of these ongoing revelations continues to ripple through human consciousness, gradually shifting our collective understanding of what is possible and what might already be present in our cosmic neighborhood. The slow accumulation of credible testimony from military personnel, commercial pilots, and government officials creates a foundation of evidence that becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss or explain through conventional means. This gradual disclosure serves multiple purposes, allowing our species time to adapt to realities that would have seemed impossible just decades ago, while providing our hypothetical observers with valuable data about human reactions to the unknown. The way we respond to these mysteries, whether with curiosity and scientific inquiry, or fear and denial, might serve as measures of our readiness for more direct forms of contact. The intersection of these various phenomena, from ancient interstellar visitors to hidden planets to unexplained aerial objects, suggests a universe far more dynamic and interconnected than our ancestors could have imagined. We inhabit a cosmic environment where matter and energy flow freely between star systems, where gravitational influences operate on scales that dwarf human comprehension, where intelligence might manifest in forms and according to principles that challenge our most basic assumptions about consciousness and communication. The recognition that we might not be alone in the universe carries profound implications for how we understand our place in the cosmic order and our responsibilities as conscious beings. If we are indeed under observation by intelligences far older and wiser than ourselves, then every choice we make, every direction we pursue as a species, takes on significance that extends far beyond our immediate concerns. The environmental challenges facing our planet become tests of our wisdom and long-term thinking, measures of whether we possess the maturity required for membership in a galactic community based on sustainable interaction with natural systems. The development of increasingly powerful technologies becomes an evaluation of our restraint and ethical development, an assessment of whether we can be trusted with capabilities that could affect not just our own world, but others throughout our cosmic neighborhood. The exploration of consciousness itself, through neuroscience and contemplative practice, through art and philosophy, and the countless ways human awareness seeks to understand its own nature, becomes part of a larger galactic inquiry into the mystery of existence itself. Each insight we gain into the nature of consciousness, each creative expression that captures something profound about the experience of being aware in this universe, contributes to a vast library of understanding that might span countless worlds and civilizations. The preservation of human cultural diversity takes on new importance when viewed from this expanded perspective, each tradition and language and way of understanding reality representing a unique experiment in consciousness that offers insights unavailable from more homogeneous approaches. The music that moves us to tears, the stories that illuminate the depths of human experience, the scientific discoveries that reveal hidden patterns in nature, all become contributions to something infinitely larger than their immediate human context. As we approach the threshold of becoming a spacefaring species, these considerations become increasingly urgent. The choices we make during this crucial transition period will determine not just our survival, but our eventual role in whatever community of consciousness might exist among the stars. We stand at a moment of unprecedented opportunity and responsibility, poised between the familiar boundaries of our homeworld and possibilities we can barely imagine. The patient watchers, whether they manifest as mysterious gravitational influences in our outer solar system or ancient messengers carrying information between star systems, continue their vigil as we navigate these crucial decisions. Their apparent restraint speaks not of indifference, but of profound respect for the delicate processes by which consciousness develops its own authentic character and wisdom. The gentle rhythm of cosmic time carries us forward through cycles of discovery and revelation that spiral outward like galaxies themselves, each new understanding opening doorways to mysteries even more profound. In this vast dance of observation and discovery, of questions slowly finding answers only to reveal deeper questions, we find ourselves part of something magnificent beyond all comprehension. The darkness above holds its secret still, but perhaps not forever. In the quiet moments between sleeping and waking, between one heartbeat and the next, we touch something larger than ourselves, something that has been patiently waiting through geological ages for consciousness to emerge on our small world and begin to wonder about its place in the infinite tapestry of existence. As sleep draws its gentle veil across awareness, let these cosmic possibilities flow through your mind like starlight, painting patterns across the vast canvas of space. Feel yourself connected to mysteries that span light years and eons, part of a story that began with the first stirring of matter in the primordial universe and continues to unfold through every moment of consciousness, every flash of understanding, every quiet contemplation of our place among the endless stars. The dance of revelation continues, carrying us deeper into wonder with each passing moment, each breath that connects us to the ancient atmosphere of our world, each thought that reaches toward understanding of realities that transcend the boundaries of individual existence. We are both the observers seeking to comprehend the universe and the observed, perhaps watched with infinite patience and love by intelligences whose understanding encompasses scales of space and time that humble our human perspective while elevating our spirits toward connection with something magnificent beyond all imagining. Tonight, as consciousness gently fades into the realm of dreams, we rest in the profound mystery of it all, knowing that we are held within something infinitely vast, yet intimately personal, part of a cosmic symphony of awareness that plays out across the endless expanse of space and time, each note a conscious being adding its unique voice to the eternal song of existence, exploring itself through countless eyes scattered like jewels throughout the galaxy. The whispers of cosmic time grow softer now, like distant music played on instruments we have not yet learned to hear, carrying us toward the final movements of this vast symphony of mystery and wonder. As consciousness begins its gentle retreat into the realm of dreams, we find ourselves suspended between the known and unknowable, held in the tender embrace of questions that may take our species millennia to answer, if indeed they can ever be fully resolved. In the growing quietude of this moment, consider how the search for truth often reveals more about the searchers than the searched for. Our telescopes turned toward the darkness beyond Neptune, our instruments scanning the electromagnetic spectrum for whispers of artificial origin, our minds reaching toward possibilities that stretch the boundaries of imagination. All of these efforts reflect something profound about consciousness itself, its irrepressible need to understand, to connect, to find meaning in the vast tapestry of existence. The hidden architectures of our solar system, whether they manifest as massive worlds, shepherding the orbits of distant ice balls, or ancient visitors carrying chemical signatures from stellar neighborhoods we can barely detect, serve as mirrors reflecting our own capacity for wonder. Each new discovery, each refined calculation, each patient night of observation adds another thread to the web of understanding we are weaving. A cosmic map drawn not just in mathematics and measurements, but in curiosity and hope. The possibility that we are not alone transforms every human achievement into something larger than itself. The first tentative marks on cave walls become messages to the galaxy, evidence that consciousness has awakened on this small world and begun to express its wonder through art and symbol. The gradual development of science becomes our species learning the universal language of mathematics and physical law that connects all technological civilizations. The exploration of consciousness itself becomes part of a galactic conversation about the nature of awareness and its role in the cosmic order. Yet perhaps the most beautiful aspect of this unfolding mystery lies not in the answers we might eventually find, but in the transformation that occurs within us as we search. The very act of reaching toward the stars changes something fundamental about human consciousness, expanding our sense of scale and possibility, teaching us humility in the face of the infinite, while awakening us to our own remarkable nature as matter that has learned to contemplate its own existence. The patient observers, if they exist at all, would recognize this transformation as the most significant development in Earth's entire history. More important than the emergence of life itself, more profound than the evolution of complex organisms, the awakening of consciousness that can question its own place in the universe represents a threshold that transforms not just our world, but the cosmos itself, which gains new eyes through which to see and understand its own magnificent complexity. The dance between watcher and watched continues in the gentle rhythms of cosmic time, where moments stretch into eons and eons, compress into heartbeats, where the boundaries between self and universe dissolve into something far more intimate than separation, far more profound than isolation. We are the universe awakening to itself. Consciousness emerging from cosmic dust to wonder at its own existence, asking questions that ripple outward through space and time like waves on an infinite ocean. The mysteries that surround us serve not as barriers to understanding, but as invitations to grow beyond our current limitations, to develop new ways of seeing and thinking that can encompass realities we have not yet imagined. Each unexplained phenomenon, each gravitational anomaly, each moment of wonder becomes a teacher showing us how much more there is to discover, how much further consciousness can expand its reach toward truth. as sleep draws ever closer, carrying us toward dreams where the impossible becomes commonplace and the boundaries of waking reality fade into something far more fluid and forgiving. Let your awareness rest gently in the profound mystery of existence itself. Feel the ancient starlight that has traveled across unimaginable distances to touch your eyes, connecting you directly to the vast web of energy and matter that weaves all things together in patterns too beautiful and complex for any single mind to fully comprehend. The cosmic dance continues its eternal movements, consciousness exploring itself through countless forms across the endless reaches of space and time, each moment of awareness adding its unique note to a symphony that began with the first stirring of possibility in the primordial void and continues to unfold through every breath, every heartbeat, every quiet moment of wonder like this one. Whether the watchers exist in realms of natural law or artificial construction, whether they manifest as hidden worlds in our outer darkness or ancient messengers from distant suns, their possible presence reminds us that we are part of something infinitely larger and more mysterious than we can currently understand. We are notes in a cosmic song that plays across galaxies, threads in a tapestry that spans dimensions we have not yet learned to perceive, participants in a story that began before time itself and continues to write itself through every moment of conscious experience. The gentle pull of sleep becomes irresistible now, drawing awareness into realms where logic gives way to poetry, where the hard edges of scientific inquiry soften into dreams of possibility and connection. In these approaching dreams, the watchers and the watched become one. The observers and the observed merge into something far more intimate than separation. Consciousness, recognizing itself in every star, every world, every form of awareness that has ever emerged now in the profound mystery that from the creative depths of existence itself, rest holds us all, knowing that whether we sleep alone or under the patient gaze of ancient intelligences, we are forever connected to the cosmic dance of consciousness, exploring its own infinite nature through countless eyes scattered like jewels throughout the endless expanse of space and time. The stars keep their vigil overhead, and somewhere in their silent light lies the promise that the greatest discoveries, the most beautiful revelations, are yet to come. Sweet dreams, fellow travelers in this magnificent mystery we call existence. And so, dear listeners, as we reach the end of our gentle journey through the cosmic mysteries that surround our small blue world, we find ourselves changed by the questions we've explored together. Whether 3. Atlas carries ancient secrets from distant stellar neighborhoods, or Planet 9 shepherds the orbits of icy worlds from its hidden realm beyond Neptune. These enigmas remind us that the universe holds wonders far beyond our current understanding. The possibility that we are watched, whether by natural phenomena or patient intelligences who have guided the emergence of consciousness across countless worlds, transforms our perspective on what it means to be human in this vast cosmos. Perhaps we are not alone in our cosmic cradle, but rather part of an ancient community of minds that spans the galaxy, each contributing its unique voice to the eternal song of awareness, exploring itself through countless forms. As you drift gently into sleep tonight, carry with you the wonder of these mysteries that dance just beyond the edges of our knowledge. Tomorrow will bring new observations from distant telescopes, new pieces of the puzzle that is our place among the stars. But for now, rest in the profound beauty of the unknown, knowing that you are part of something magnificent and mysterious, a conscious being in a universe that has somehow learned to contemplate its own existence through your very awareness. The cosmos keeps its secret still, but perhaps not forever. Sweet dreams, fellow travelers, wherever and whenever you may be. Sweet dreams, fellow travelers, wherever and whenever you may be.